Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and today we are going to be taking a closer look at Spirits and World of Light in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate because it wasn't very clear, was it? During the Direct, they showed the Spirits thing off and World of Light very briefly, but there was so much information bombarded at us that, especially me at the time, I genuinely didn't fully understand it. And I mean, it didn't help that I was watching the UK stream, which had subtitles and all that, but that's not the point. The point is, it was ruddy confusing and loads of people don't seem to know what's going on, so we're here to solve that. We've tried to restructure the way that Nintendo presented it and try and highlight a few things that they didn't mention as well, but for some reason, you know, that for some reason they didn't mention but that we saw in the video so that we can highlight them, and some other little hidden details and stuff like that, and a little sprinkling of speculation thrown in there as well. So you can walk away from this video knowing pretty much everything we do about Spirits, unless you're not paying attention. But then that's your fault. But anyway, that's more than enough waffling. Let's dive over to Alex on the mic, because I'm going to be reading this from a script, because it's too complicated to try and do ad-lib. Okay, so Spirits. They're a thing. They appear in the adventure mode called World of Light, and also appear to be unlockable in what appears to be a sort of event mode called Spirit Board. They're characters from all sorts of different franchises that aren't just Nintendo, so you can't complain about them not being in Smash in some form, unless they're not in it. They don't come into play during regular battles or online matchmaking, so don't worry about your final destination, Fox-only, no-item style of gameplay being forcefully impacted. If you don't like the idea of them, they're safely tucked away behind an optional mode, and you needn't ever bother with them. Unless World of Light is the only way to unlock fighters, which it might be, but we don't know. Spirits are characters that have been ripped from their bodies and are floating about the place, desperate to exist again. It's pretty grim, actually. In their desperation, they enter puppet fighters that have been cloned from all the playable fighters in the game. So, for example, you might be fighting a Mario puppet that's being powered by a Smokey Prog from the Pikmin series, or a King Dedede puppet powered by a Gordo. These affect how the characters behave, as you might expect, or we would be kind of pointless. And as such, all sorts of wacky things can occur as a result of two characters combining into a single fighter. As you can plainly see, Gordo causes Dedede to become invisible and basically do nothing but fire Gordos. Oh, and there's 3 of them. These don't just stick to the traditional rules either, and you'll be thrown headfirst into all sorts of unpredictable and unlikely scenarios. Even the stage can be affected, such as being covered in poison, lava, or having strong winds happening all the time. Plenty to take into account. But spirits aren't just against you. Oh, crumbs no. You can also assign spirits you collect through methods we'll discuss later onto your fighter and empower your own abilities, similarly to the stickers found in Brawl. You can assign one primary spirit which will boost your strength and defense. For example, this level 1 GUI assigned to Inkling has a total power of 1587, which is made up of a strength power of 762 and a defensive power of 825, as shown at the top of the screen here and indicated by appropriate icons. Each spirit comes with its own class as well. You've got Grab, Attack, or Shield. These 3 classes work in favor and against one another using a fairly straightforward rock, paper, scissors manner that's very common in a lot of other games, like Pokemon. Attack is strong against Grab, Grab is strong against Shield, and Shield is strong against Attack. Simple stuff. Do be aware though that Attack and what we're calling Strength, which is found here, are not precisely the same thing, as their icons are completely different. The same goes for shield and defense as well. We do need to clarify that because, terminology, man. There appear to be 4 types of primary spirit class in total, 3 of which are the 3 we just mentioned before, and 1 that is as yet unknown. But using our thinking noggins, we're pretty chuffing confident that this is a balanced class that falls into none of the other 3 classes we just explained. This is only speculation though, so don't go telling your mum or something. So now you've got your primary fighter all suited and booted with a primary spirit, you'll be much better prepared for taking on some of the crazy and madness-inducing battles you'll have with other spirit-powered fighters that have massive advantages over you. But it doesn't stop there either, otherwise we probably wouldn't have felt the need to make this video. Along with 1 primary spirit, you can also have up to 3 support spirits help you along as well. Some spirits do have fewer than 3 support slots, and it's possible that this could be expanded by leveling, but we really don't know at the moment. All we know is some of them have 3, some of them have 2, some of them have 1. Easy. Maybe some have 0, I haven't seen. These are in their very own class, which is why we cropped this shot earlier when talking about classes. Clever, eh? As such, rather than boost your strength and defense, these support type geezers give you additional skills with a massive range of different lovely goodies to choose from. You can get bonuses such as starting a battle with a fire flower, being made of metal, and even auto-healing your damage over time. Splendid. Okay, to quickly sum things up so far, your fighter will have 1 primary spirit, which makes you stronger, and up to 3 support spirits that will give you additional perks. Enemy spirits inhabit puppet fighters and mix up the whole fighting shtick to no end. Okay, so that's about the nub of how they all work, but there's still so much to talk about. I mean, just look at how much longer we've got left on the video. For one thing, how do you even unlock these little suckers? Well, that's surprisingly simple actually, so we won't be spending ages on it. You unlock spirits in World of Light as well as the spirit board, as we previously mentioned. Fight them, beat them, and then you've got a chance to unlock them. Simple. Once you've won the battle, you'll have to hit the puppet fighter you were just brawling with some sort of fancy ray gun at just the right time. Get it on target, and you've unlocked it! Way! Miss, and instead you'll just take a good chunk of the shield surrounding it off, making it easier to unlock if you try again. To try again, you will need to do the whole battle over from the beginning though, otherwise it would be pointless. It also looks like you can make things easier by using single-use items called the Shield Spacer, which presumably removes a chunk of the shield, and Sluggish Shield, which I imagine slows it down, making an accurate hit much easier. It's pretty self-explanatory. Going back to the spirit board, it looks like each spirit on here will only be available for a limited period. Personally, I think this means it'll change constantly over time, a bit like the Splatoon 2 map rotation type thing, meaning new spirits you may not have will be forever popping up. Maybe they'll also introduce new spirits this way for free throughout the game's life. Who knows? But what about those stars and words up there? Well, that's a really simple and easy way to tell at a glance just how strong and beefy a spirit is. They range from novice to legend, and let's be honest, you're gonna want the legend ones, aren't you? But that's not to say you shouldn't take care of the weaker ones as well, because you can also power them up. We're proper down the rabbit hole now, aren't we? As you fight alongside your primary spirit, it'll gain experience and level up in a relatively predictable manner. You can also feed it spirit snacks that you receive for completing battles, which come in small, medium, and large variety, but that may not be the actual terminology. Keep feeding it or training it up until it reaches the max level, and your spirit may even do a Pokemon and essentially evolve into an enhanced form. Spicy. But can you also do this with support spirits? Well, sadly at the moment we just don't know for sure. There's nothing to confirm it either way from our research, but the direct and the official site sort of suggest that you can't. Makes sense really, as not all support skills can be scalable. You're not going to start a match with 2 fire flowers now, are you? So that means you'll probably be getting a lot of spirits left, right and center then, yeah? Yes. But don't think you have to hold on to the stragglers if you only want Lanky Kong on your side. You can send spirits back to the real world, which basically means you lose them forever. But there is a point to it. Once you send a spirit off to the great land beyond, they leave behind a core. These can then be used to summon other spirits at whim, such as Micaiah here, that requires 1 grab type core and 2 support cores. Hey presto, you've summoned this character, whoever she is. From Fire Emblem, probably. And that's not even it. You can also train up spirits in the dojo, causing them to gain experience and level up over time, pretty much in the same way as you just fighting with them. Or you could, send them out to find treasure, normal things. It's not clear what treasure they'll reap for you, but I don't think it's unreasonable that they might be snacks and similar other things, maybe even cores we don't know, Snacks from the mines. The important thing with these 2 things that you can make spirits do is that they happen even when you're not actually playing the game, and even when the system is off and you're, buying hummus. Doesn't matter, this lot will keep working no matter what you're doing, even if your switch is off. And then to add yet another layer to this delicious proverbial lasagna, you can also train your spirits, presumably just the primary ones, but again it's not clear, in different styles. These boost certain attributes and hinder others in what many are calling a balanced manner. You can unlock new styles by beating spirit masters such as Gravity Man, Captain Cuttlefish, and no doubt plenty of others that we've yet to see. It also looks like you can force a spirit to forget a style if you want to switch things up by simply visiting Slowpoke. Because video games. And finally, you can also power up your amiibo fighters with spirits, but you'll lose any spirit you choose to do this, so be cautious. Bloody Nora. Okay, so that's how spirits work, but we're still not done, are we? If all of that was still a little bit much for you to feel that you can be bothered with it, don't worry. All spirit assignment before a battle can be automatically recommended by some funky algorithm by simply pressing Y, as you can see here. This no doubt carries across all modes that spirits are in or can be a part of. Speaking of which, yes, you can battle others using spirits in a similar way to custom fighters in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. It's not yet known what the limitations are, but local is surely guaranteed, and if it's not available online in the Battle Arena mode, I'd be very surprised indeed. So what about World of Light? Well, we don't know nearly as much as we do about General Spirit, sadly, but we do know a couple of things, and we can speculate on a couple more. Spirit battles, just like the ones that you'll find on the Spirit board, take place as you navigate around an overworld, presumably the World of Light. It's essentially just giving some context to the whole idea and will no doubt be the primary way that people use the Spirit functionality. Although not 100% confirmed, it does seem extremely likely that you'll be able to unlock fighters in this mode. I mean, come on, they've been captured and you need to release them. Do I have to draw a diagram? You can also upgrade your fighter without the aid of spirits, although you really should be doing it in conjunction with spirits or you're just an idiot. This is done by a skill tree, which we can see here, but sadly it's here so briefly we don't really know any fine details about it. It also looks like certain spirits will actually be required for progression and navigating around the map. For example, we can see Lapras here being used to surf over to Merman here. Or Merman. Merman? We can also see the Great Fox traversing space in this clip, which presumably not every character can do, because it's space. There will be boss fights! Yes, after a painfully long break, we can finally take on proper, big, ugly bosses in style in Smash. At the time of recording, we don't know what significance they hold or what you'll unlock for defeating them, but my money's on good old-fashioned progression to different areas, as it should be. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for quick-fire observations and speculation! There are chests to unlock on the map, presumably with something inside, otherwise it would be pointless. There also appear to be a couple of different maps, or at least a great deal of variety on a single one. You can see a bus in this clip with what appears to be a bus stop next to it, which could be a way to fast travel across the world, maybe? A Master Hand is seen here destroying a bridge, which likely blocks Kirby from going that way, at least at first. There are puzzles you have to complete in the overworld, such as hitting switches and finding Zapfish. Also, is it just me or does Ness look like he's taking part in something like Gourmet Race from Kirby? And what's this Grove doing? And very finally, I just want to clear a few things up very briefly to avoid any kind of confusion. World of Light and Spirit Board are two separate things. They are two separate modes in the game. World of Light is a story-driven adventure mode that happens to use spirits heavily, but Spirit Board takes place outside World of Light and is not related to the story or any progression that you have in that mode. Chances are spirits will be universally applicable between these modes, but they are not the same thing. And there you have it. That is about the size of it. That is everything we could garner from the short video and all the information that's online on smashbros.com and stuff like that. There is so much to get your head around with spirits. It's no surprise that people were immediately a little bit sort of, what? I'm sure there's probably one or two questions that we haven't been able to answer because the information just flat out isn't available yet, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. You know, it'll all come out in the wash. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you fire a beam of light gently and subtly towards that subscribe button, and be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.